Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2735 Mechanical Legion 1. Yong Shinshin continued to remind Zhang Yi, although we don't have detailed information about the abilities of these 6 knights yet, it seems that the one-eyed wolf of the wolf clan possesses abilities with time attributes. You need to be extra careful. However, the other party's time is probably not within your reach. After all, brother, you returned from outside of time. Also, the Titan Galiki has a strange backpack on his back. This is a race that is good at making bioweapons, so who knows what kind of strange ultimate weapon he might come up with. Zhang Yi nodded, gripping his long sword tightly, his gaze sharp. Let them go. I've been waiting for them to come and fight. Yong Shinshin continued to plan the battle methodically. We can free up our forces to help you withstand the attack of 2 bishops. I'll deal with that titan with the totem pole. His ability should be the domain of rules. As for that big guy with dual swords and that bunch of bishop-level minions, leave them to the 10 Ghost Maidens and the Sand Raider Legion. While we're not absolutely certain we can defeat them, we can definitely delay them for half an hour. Combined with the kaleidoscope combat system of Tion High City, this battle gives me the advantage. Zhang Yi nodded. Very good, then it's decided. At this moment, the 4 leaders below could no longer suppress their murderous intent. Zhang Yi, since you refuse to come out and face your death, then we'll go in and kill you. Galiki roared, and the 6 knight-level powerhouses unleashed their power simultaneously. The terrifying energy fluctuations, like a tangible hammer, slammed into the defensive force field of Tion High City. Rip! The energy shield, strong enough to withstand a nuclear explosion, was finally torn open by the combined attack of the entire decapitation force, leaving a huge rift. Zhang Yi's gaze sharpened instantly, but there was no fear in his eyes. Kill! 6 knight-level superhumans took the lead, rushing in through the rift like 6 demon gods and holding it up to prevent it from closing. More than a dozen other bishop-level superhumans rushed into the rift like wolves and tigers, and it looked like they were about to start a massacre in the city. However, what greeted them was a hail of bullets and laser beams. Thousands of Sandsweeper robots had already formed a defensive line. They charged fearlessly toward the 10 bishop-level superhumans, forcibly slowing down their advance. At the forefront of the defense line, 10 armed battle maidens, like 10 sharp knives, instantly cut into the enemy formation, heading straight for the ironclad berserker, Curry. The interior of Tion High City is not an ordinary building complex. Putting aside the defensive force field of the Death Kaleidoscope, in various areas of Tion High City alone, huge, transparent weapon towers were already on high alert. The moment those powerful alien warriors charged in, they immediately locked onto each other's heads and unleashed a powerful barrage of attacks. A vast network of forces wove together across the entire sky above Tion High City. A bunch of scrap metal. You think you can block our way? Destroy them all. The ironclad berserker Curry has a power index of 52,000 points. He wielded 2 massive swords the size of door panels, and violent red steam spewed out from the gaps in his armor, making him look like a runaway meat grinder. Storm Whirlwind Slash. Curry swung his arms in a wide arc, unleashing a terrifying storm of sword energy that swept across the surroundings, instantly engulfing several armed battle maidens who attempted to get close. Bang! 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 The warrior was blasted away by the immense force, thrown out like a kite with a broken string. Curry's power is too great. It's pure destructive force that no ordinary mechanical creation can withstand. Ha ha ha. So weak. This toy thinks it can stop me. Curry laughed wildly, his eyes filled with contempt. But soon, his laughter stopped abruptly, because he discovered that although the armed battle maiden had been blasted away by his powerful strength, her body had not suffered any damage. The android core of the Sandstalker, Ming, is not so easily destroyed. He didn't even notice that the remaining 10 battle maidens had red lights flashing in their eyes, and their core data was jumping wildly. Warning: high-energy attack under attack. Tactical analysis. The target is a strength-based berserker with a high attack frequency but a single, predictable attack trajectory. Activation. Evolutionary adaptation mode. Data synchronization in progress. The injured battle maidens did not fall. The nanorepair robots on their bodies began to operate frantically, and the cracks in their bodies regenerated within seconds, restoring them to their original state. The other battle maidens suddenly changed their actions. They no longer confront each other head-on, no longer try to use their strength to counter Curry. Buzz. A Valkyrie dodged Curry's heavy slash to the side, and her movements were remarkably similar to Curry's power-generating technique. What? Curry swung his sword down, only to find that the Valkyrie, who should have been hit, dodged at an extremely strange angle and slashed at his weak joint with a backhand. Stars are shooting up. 10 of us are one. Every time you defeat us, we evolve. If you can't kill us, we'll only get stronger. The 10 war maidens transformed into streaks of black afterimages, their coordination becoming seamless, and their attack methods began to be adjusted to target Curry's weaknesses. Some were responsible for feinting attacks, some for distraction, and some for delivering the fatal blow. Curry's expression turned serious. He found himself trapped in a quagmire from which he could not escape. No matter how he swung his greatsword, it would be perfectly neutralized by these cold, inanimate machines, leaving wounds all over his body. It's not an inhuman, it's a mechanical life form. But how can there be a mechanical life form in this world that can rival a knight-level inhuman? They thought it was a case of tigers entering a flock of sheep, but to their surprise, more than a dozen bishop-level superhumans were completely stopped by more than 1,000 sand-snatching robots as soon as they entered the area of Tion City. The hardships that Zhang Yi and his group endured back then are now being experienced amplified by the decapitation squads of the 4 major clans. With the Sandstalker robots, combined with a super battleship and the power network that spans Tion City, who can say for sure whether they have stormed into Zhang Yi's camp or fallen into his trap. Zhang Yi and the leaders of the 4 tribes faced off high in the sky, neither daring to make a move. When masters clash, the worst thing to do is to be hasty, because once you reveal a flaw in your ability, your opponent may seize upon it, leading to a swift defeat. The other side of the battlefield has a completely different style. Yong Shinshin appeared from the warship, hovering behind Zhang Yi, her gaze coldly fixed on Munihi, a powerful titan who held a totem pole. Let's change the battlefield. How about we make room for them? Chapter 2730, 6 Mechanical Legion 2. Yong Shinshin said calmly to Munahe. The two sides exchanged a glance and quickly reached a consensus. In terms of strength, Munihi is far inferior to the Ming clan chief and Zhang Yi. If he forcibly joins this battle, he will likely be the first to be eliminated. Moreover, he knew that Yong Shinshin, a rule-based ability user, was an unstable factor, and keeping her by Zhang Yi's side was a huge variable. Therefore, the best choice is king against king, general against general. All right, let's find another place to fight. Munihi smiled warmly, then, carrying the gaudy totem, flew away into the distance. While he was flying, with his back to Yong Shinshin, he gently opened his mouth and silently recited something. The space behind them appeared to be distorted invisibly, as if something had been trapped and left behind. Yong Shinshin's eyes were indifferent. "Brother, I'll go first." She suddenly smiled and said, "Let's have a competition and see who finishes the battle first." Zhang Yi smiled and said, "Okay." Yong Shinshin, dressed in the demon god armor, quickly left and soon arrived with Mu Na at a sea area far from Tion City. The two people gazed at each other from a great distance. Munihi gazed at the girl in black armor, his eyes narrowing slightly. Yong Shinshin, the Queen Mother of the West, is a very famous figure in the entire human world. The right and left hands of the demon god Chaos, a humanoid computer with an extremely powerful mind and the ability to control people using a bow and arrow. This is no secret. As rule-based ability users, whoever reveals their ability first will be at an absolute disadvantage. As long as I am not killed by her arrows, I will be invincible. Munihi still wore a warm smile on his face. Yong Shinshin stared at him indifferently. It's really strange to engage in such a foolish duel with someone, but it's not so bad to do it once in a while. She slowly raised her right hand, her fair and delicate fingers slender, long, and soft. Appear, fallen puppet. Buzz. Black mist began to rise, then billowed and swirled into the vast space behind her. A colossal, fallen golem, stitched together from fragmented corpses, with 6 wings on its back and its head drooping, appeared behind Yong Shinshin. A hazy, dark aura enveloped his entire body. Although his 6 wings were broken and decayed, exposing his bones, they shimmered with a bizarre and fantastical light. With an ability index of 53,000 points, Yong Shinshin, a white knight, possesses even more powerful fallen puppet abilities than before. The moment Yong Shinshin's fallen puppet appeared, before the judgment longbow could even be drawn, Moon Nahe's eyes flashed suddenly. I won't give you a chance to draw your bow. Now, enter my territory. Rule system. Infinite maze. Muna clasped his hands together and thrust the totem pole downwards into the void. Buzz. Complex and twisted multicolored patterns rapidly spread out from beneath his feet, covering the entire space in all directions. The light and shadow twisted and swirled, like long, colorful snakes winding around, dazzling the eyes and making one feel as if they were hallucinating, almost nauseous. The space around Yong Shinshin instantly distorted, and the skyscrapers disappeared. She looked at this thing and thought, it's quite an interesting ability to set a trap in the air beforehand. The fallen puppet spread its 6 wings and arms, firmly protecting Yong Shinshin within its body. Yong Shinshin herself raised her hands. Strands of black silk threads gathered in her palms, like cat's cradle. She lowered her head and began to tie a diamond-shaped net structure on her own. Meme virus barrier. Memoviruses, with their conceptual capabilities, have, through Yong Shinshin's terrifyingly powerful mathematical calculations, already been able to influence the fundamental structure of the entire material world. This quickly created a special domain around her, with light and shadow flickering in the air, forming a network space resembling the black rope in her hand, which firmly protected her and the fallen puppet. The surrounding space had completely changed. It was no longer part of Tion City. Instead, there was an endless, gray, and vast maze. The stone walls soar into the clouds, and the roads are intricate and complex, with the terrain changing with every step. On Yong Shinshin's left shoulder, an hourglass appeared out of thin air, its sands flowing. Yong Shinshin glanced at it from the side. Hourglass? She established absolute rules around her. Within this area, any force that would attack her would lose its offensive power. However, the fact that this hourglass appears indicates that it has a harmless ability. This is the power of rules. Munihi's voice came from all directions, carrying a leisurely smile. Yong Shinshin looked up and saw Munihi. Above the vast, boundless labyrinth, Munihi's body, like a god, was enormous, overlooking the Doll Manor. You must escape this labyrinth before the hourglass runs out. Otherwise, your soul will be forever banished to another dimension, and your body will turn to dust. This is an absolute rule, one that even gods cannot defy. He smiled and spread his hands. Come on. Let me see how the world's top rule-based ability user breaks this deadlock. Rule-based abilities are the most unpredictable and difficult to deal with. Once you fall into the opponent's rhythm, you often die without even knowing how you died. Munihi's eyes seemed to be watching a good show. As the most powerful rule-based ability user of the Titan race, he used this move to defeat many powerful enemies, even those whose ability index was not stronger than his. This is the fun of the rule-based system. It can unleash combat power far exceeding one's own ability index, but once the ability is broken, it becomes extremely weak. This extreme of high potential and extreme weakness is the most dangerous game that highly intelligent people love. Munihi believed that he had the power to control the intelligence, so in this battle, he could torment this elegant woman to his heart's content. However, when Yong Shinshin looked at the hourglass on her shoulder, instead of showing fear, she raised the corners of her mouth and revealed a mocking smile. A maze? What a boring game. I still have a sliver of hope for your abilities. Moon Nahe frowned immediately. He was very dissatisfied with Yong Shinshin's reaction. But he soon burst into laughter. It seems you haven't figured out the current situation yet. The infinite maze is not a simple maze. It has 3 characteristics. First, it is incredibly vast, covering an area comparable to a human kingdom. The internal structure changes every minute. Third, certain death. Unless the superpower index exceeds 5,000 points of Munihi and uses absolute power to resist the rules, the person inside will undoubtedly die after the hourglass ends. Even if someone's ability index exceeds his by 5,000 points, forcibly breaking through the maze will definitely result in severe damage. If you think this is just a simple maze,
Right,
you'd be
that's
sorely
today's
mistaken.
chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises. Thank you.